Hey there, Internet. R. Felix Finch here, and I am stuck in the apartment. You're stuck in your home or apartment, but some of us are stuck abroad, or stuck. Maybe it's a complete joy. Who knows? But, gentlemen, I am here, joined at this late 11 p.m. Japan time by the wonderful, the one, the only Russian dynamite herself, Masha Slamovich. Доброй ночи, Masha. How you doing?
Добрый вечер. I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me on your show this evening or morning, apparently, over there.
Time zones are weird. Yeah, I'm actually going to be next week. I'm interviewing Russian YouTuber Ksenia did that, so I've got to be on Moscow time as well. It's so much fun.
You're all over the place, man.
For sure, but the thing in big places. Oh, okay. Let's see. Your network bandwidth is low. It just shrunk you, but that's okay. We're good. But you're there in Japan with Marvelous currently.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So tell us a little about that journey. How'd you go? Where did it all begin? Did you start training in the U.S., in Russia, in Japan? Like, where did your wrestling journey, the journey of Masha Slamovich, begin?
So originally, I started training at the World of Unpredictable Wrestling under Johnny Rods in Brooklyn, New York, when I was 16 years old. And I continued to train there until I turned 18 and I had my first chance to come to Japan, which was not with Marvelous, that was with Reina Pro Wrestling, where we were training at the Zero One dojo. And upon my return to the United States, I began to wrestle a lot more on the indies in Canada, a lot of places, Russia actually as well. And after participating in a tryout in, I believe it was August of 2019, which was for Marvelous, I ended up getting selected from the tryout and arrived here on January 25th.
Okay. Quick question, only because I want to check it. Are you on Wi-Fi or no?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Weird. It said your bandwidth went down, so it shrunk your picture a little bit. I was just making sure. But with that being said, in Russia, were you over out there with Northern Storm or with IWF?
I was there with IWF.
Okay, I'm a little familiar with. Those are the only two Russian promotions that I'm familiar with. Those are the only two that exist, as far as I know. So.
Yes, they are the only two.
All right. Hey, I didn't know if maybe there was some underground Russian fight club that I don't know about, or if they do, maybe it's way more extreme. Maybe they actually wrestle bears. Who knows?
Oh no, there's absolutely probably the most god awful backyard wrestling that you can even imagine. I mean, it's hard to sit through. I've seen it, and good God, it puts GCW to look like WWE once you see what they're doing out there. But I can't even consider them any kind of reasonable federation.
Yeah, I did see apparently a big weapon out there is the keyboard. Apparently, the keyboard gets over huge.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they love it when you smash one in the head and the little keys go flying everywhere.
It is a great visual. So with going there, was that a return home for you? Like, were you born in Russia or were you born stateside?
I was born in New York City, but I traveled my entire life from Moscow to New York continuously. So it was pretty much like coming back home and getting to wrestle in my hometown, which was probably one of the greatest feelings of my entire career at the time.
Oh, that's nice. Did you get a lot of family showing up to your actual event?
No, because my family is not too big on wrestling, I suppose. But I do think that over the last year and a half, I've garnered their interest a lot more. So they are looking forward to me coming back to IWF and actually would show up this time.
that that's wonderful. I can name like every zero event my family has attended, so I'm sure it'll be a good feeling once yours does.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Now, how about your family here stateside in New York itself? Are they pretty supportive of the wrestling dream?
They think I'm absolutely insane, but they knew that I wouldn't give up or until I started doing this, and then once I started doing this, they knew that there was no way out once it already started. So they support me, but they still think that I lost a couple of screws, which they're not wrong. So
Yeah. So how did what was the genesis of Masha Slamovich? Like when you started this out, did you want to be just like a representative of your Russian heritage, or did that just kind of come into being? Like what were the first few gimmicks of Masha, if there were any?
when I first started, I I didn't know how good I was gonna be at this. I was just glad to give it a shot and just kind of see where it takes me. Being the fact that I spoke Russian and I am Russian always played a big role in my wrestling. Even before I started wrestling, when I was a manager, I was always kind of going off in Russian. Funny enough, my first gimmick was actually based off of one of my Russian last names, which is Shubadorova, which legitimately translates to skin ripper. And upon hearing that,
That's
Johnny Rods was
badass.
like, "That's it, Mom. Skin ripper." And that was my first name, and they had sent me over here under the name Skin Ripper, which I will probably never live down.
Hey, to be fair though, that is kind of a badass name. Like my last name is Finch. It is a small. It translates into small songbird. So
You're a small songbird, and apparently I'm a Skin Ripper, so.
yeah, that again, just absolute badass. I mean, if you, I love those people whose shoot names are like better work names than their worker names. Although Slamovich is a pretty clever one, I've got to give you that.
Thank you.
Yeah, what was the process like with Johnny Rods? Now, did you not wrestle till you were 18 because you weren't ready, or because of the liability of having a minor wrestle in New York City?
It was definitely the State Athletic Commission that prevented me from doing shows earlier. However, I would say that that was a blessing in disguise because from the moment that I had set foot in the gym, I remember my first week there, my mother was like, "You have to be home early, you have to go to school," because I was still in high school at the time. And it turned out into, "Oh, let me just stay one more hour to I'm coming home tomorrow morning to I'll just show up at school." And I just lived there. Like I would leave school, go straight to the gym and spend it. I would stay there until the gym closed, which was like 10 or 11 p.m. Um, so that I just that's literally what it was. Training, training, training. That's all I remember is just a mind. It's just continuous training. And the only match that I had before I turned 18 was actually kind of like a tryout match or like a sample match for Reina to be able to watch, for their consideration to bring me over here. And I ended up having to get a fake ID to present to the State Athletic Commission about a month and a half shy of my 18th birthday. And I wrestled the match. It went fine. Apparently, somebody ratted me out to the commission, but at that point, it didn't matter because I ended up leaving the country in a month, anyways.
You fugitive of justice.
You do what you have to.
And now you mentioned Reina. Are you familiar with Alex Lee at all? I think that's. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some people I know over at Reina.
Currently?
Well, not currently. She no. She was there years back. So I don't know when was Reina. I don't know what your age is, so I don't know how long ago 18 is for you.
Well, I'm 21 now, so I was
Oh, okay.
there in 2016.
Okay, gotcha. So is this your second time back in Japan?
Yes.
Okay, and how did this marvelous opportunity come about? The opportunity with marvelous, not the pun, although I'm sure the opportunity itself is marvelous as well.
It sure is. Uh, Honestly, somebody just sent me a link, I believe, and it just said like there's a tryout at FTW, Brian Idol School for Marvelous, and I was kind of shocked that I didn't hear more about it and that it wasn't a big thing going around on the internet. So I figured, I should most certainly attend this tryout. Um, and this being a women's company, the strange thing about the tryout was we had 6 women at the tryout and we had like 20 men there,
So,
which I couldn't understand that, but I had no problem with that as well. So
do you mean the office, or was there a do you mean the office of 20 men, or were there also men at the tryout for marvelous?
no, I mean the whole tryout. There was like 20 men trying out and 6 women, which was shocking because there was a girl from Florida, there was a girl from Ohio, there was of course Delmy, she's from Rhode Island, and I was like one of 2 girls who were local. Another one was from Pennsylvania, which I was so surprised that no more girls from the local area were at the tryout.
Yeah, New York itself has a pretty well known and robust wrestling scene. So, have you had did you have a chance when you were coming up to form any like good camaraderie with any of the local girls up there, or any of the guys?
Um, it was a very strange time between my return from my last time here and then pretty much last. I guess I would have to say last April or something like that because I was kind of a loner, going place to place, kind of on my own or carpooling with people or whatever the case may be. A very close friend of mine is JL Cotto, who we trained together at Johnny Rod's school, and I've had some of my best matches against her. And of course, last year I met my tag partner, the other half of Bad Company, and a very, very close friend of mine, the Ultraviolet. So as far as camaraderie goes, those girls would be the first 2 to come to mind. And I spent a great deal of time wrestling in Canada, which I'm very thankful for all of the camaraderie up there because as absolutely insane as it is to go on a winter death road or ice road tour, it was probably one of the greatest decisions of my life because I learned so much. And now looking back at it, it's a crazy experience, and not a lot of people get to do that. And that led to my continued work out in the Maritimes and more places in Ontario and Quebec and so on.
Hmm. Do you have a favorite area of Canada yet?
A lot of the companies that I work for is constantly traveling, but I think that my favorite place to wrestle would probably have to be the Maritimes because you can't explain it. It's just it's like a wonderful territory, wonderful people, and I have a great time every time I go out there.
That's good to hear. I'm hoping to get up to Canada at some point. I just moved up here to New York. I'm it's like I've hit every coast. I started in the East Coast, went to the West Coast, just spent some time down south, and now I'm finally up north. So I guess the only place to go is further north from here. That's that's the idea. I see you have a lovely Japanese iced coffee there. Has that been your lifeblood during this time?
Oh, this wonderful black coffee. I cannot rave about this enough. If I could inject this into my blood, I would. This is phenomenal, and as is every other coffee here, but this is absolutely the number one coffee in Japan.
I hear a dog back there. Is that a little house pet, or is that part of the dojo itself, or is that just somebody's dog with them?
We have 14 dogs. We have 14 dogs here.
14. I could tell if that was a glitch. Was there?
Yes, we have 14 dogs, and we had one cat, but now we have two cats after today.
Huh. Is wow. It's like two cats after today. You just got a new cat today in there with the dog. Is this part of the training in Japan, or does someone just like really love strays?
So from what I've gathered is they started out with two dogs, and I'm not too sure given away or whatever, because there's a bunch of these dogs that are not related to the original two that are adopted, or Marvelous just really loves animals. And that's great because it sleeps in my bed.
Gotcha. I'm sorry, we are breaking up a little here. Like I was catching in some of what you said that they start with two and somehow like they just love animals, so they keep bringing them in. Let's see. Are you still there, Masha? Can you hear us on this end?
Yeah,
Okay, I hear you now, slightly.
I hear you.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Again, sorry guys, this is technology going through. I am speaking, literally half a world away, so I do thank you for your patience while we have this with Masha here. But I guess that also might mean it's time for us to start the end of the wrap up. So, with Marvelous being out there during this quarantine, you've seen what's been happening in New York. So, I guess it must have been a little bit of a blessing to be there in Japan when all this went down.
Absolutely. I really couldn't I couldn't imagine being home right now. I would have lost my mind quite a long time ago. And living in a dojo and being able to continue to train every day and learn every day, lift weights, just be in a ring. It's the greatest blessing that anybody, a wrestler at least, could ever ask for. A normal person would probably have gone running. Um, but I feel so blessed to be here. Honestly, I do. And, I'm a big believer in destiny. So, even as I had lost a ton of bookings or whatever due to this pandemic, I feel like destiny had placed me exactly where I need to be, which is right here.
Awesome, and hey, like you have access to a gym, so you can continue. You did powerlifting, correct?
I did multiple forms of fitness, I guess you would call it. I started weightlifting at a young age and then switched over to CrossFit. but now I'm kind of back in a mix of powerlifting and CrossFit at the moment.
Gotcha. Well, I do appreciate it. I see that we're getting really close to midnight there. I just want to get some final thoughts. Like, what are you hoping for at the end of this? By the end of this tour, like, what are you hoping to accomplish in Japan, and when do you want to come back?
As of right now, the current situation, in the United States, I don't want to come back because to be quite quite honest with you, it's an absolute shit show over there, and I want no part of that. My goal before here was to do more shows for more promotions and whatever the case may be, but obviously that's currently not an option. So my new goal is to hone my craft as much as I can, get all of my things in the ring as crisp as possible, and continue learning and continue bettering because we are still doing tapings here without an audience every 2 weeks. So I want every match to be better than the one before and to just get better in every single way possible.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point there that like right now, sure, the quantitative ability to hold matches may have gone down, but you know what? You have a chance now to focus on the quality, to really hone it in one place with people. And you said that the 2 years you had before even stepping into the ring officially were a blessing. Yeah, I think this may also be another blessing for you in being able to do that. And hey, I'm sure that there's like I'm sure there's emergency visa right now since you can't exactly get back easily. So that's got to be nice.
It's pretty great. I've had my visa extended until July 25th at this moment. And I intend to stay out every minute of it. And like you said, this is another one of those blessings that is given to you by the universe. And the more, because you never stop learning in wrestling, and I literally say this on every interview that I do, you never stop learning, you never will stop learning. And it's definitely helpful to, step back from being on the road and doing shows several times a week to sit down and to realize that you know absolutely nothing in a way, and to just learn and get better. And Johnny Rod said it best: when you think you know, you don't know, and even when you know, you still don't know. So
Awesome. Well, Masha, now's your time. Plug everything you want. Tell people how they can make you some money. Tell people how they can watch you. Tell them where they can find you. And tell them anything you want within reason.
well, you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Masha Slamovich. And you can also find me at prowrestlingtees.com/Masha Slamovich, which I will be releasing a new t-shirt within the next couple of days or a week. So keep your eyes open for that. Please pick up a shirt. And I will be once again posting pictures of the 8x10s that are available for international shipping from Japan. So I can ship those to you as well. That's about it. Pro Wrestling Tees, Instagram, Twitter, and that's my social media.
Well, thanks, Masha. I think I'm wondering if I know what the shirt is you're releasing, and if so, I do like it if I do say so myself. But again, thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy dojo time. But go pet some dogs and get some sleep. A hard day of work never ends. And I thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you for having me, and have a fantastic rest of your day.
Will do. Okay, Internet, that was Masha. I thank you very much for your time, and I will have this interview edited and put up a little later. And yeah, you can find my stuff here, youtube.com/Frisco Flame. I'm going to be doing more of these interviews. Next week, Ksenia of Ksenia Did That comes in live from Moscow, Russia. And then I've got some things lined up. This week, no Underground Lucha things, but I am re-recording. I am recording new episodes because I finally found a new co-host, so I look forward to that. And peace out, party peoples. I will see you next time.